Chase Liaki with the blue futon, out of the box or out of the wall, whatever you want to call it. We have 4K, Murder on the Orient Express. Have I seen this movie? Absolutely not. I'm watching it. You know why? Because Death on the Nile comes out technically tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. So I had to watch this before I watched the sequel. Let's do it. So the Murder on the Orient Express, what's it about? It's a very simple premise. Kenneth Branagh directs and stars and probably produces in a movie based on the Agatha Christie novels. Do I know how to say his name? Hercule Poirot. I'm not French, so I don't know how to say it, but this has an all-star cast of a whodunit mystery, kind of Clue, but on a train. Did I like this movie? I am a sucker for murder mysteries, so of course I'm going to like this movie. I love Clue, gave it 100%. This isn't as good as Clue, but something like this, you watch it and you're like, oh, who did it? Who did it? Oh, I'm curious. I'm one of those people that are like, oh, it can't be that guy. It can't be that guy. There's no way it's that guy. There's no way it's that guy. But this is an all-star cast, guys. Like, people just keep coming on screen over and over. Like, I just totally forgot. It's like Kenneth Branagh, Penélope Cruz, which is nominated for an Oscar, Willem Dafoe, Judi Dench, also nominated for an Oscar, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad, Leslie Odom Jr., Pfeiffer, Ridley. It's like, holy cow, they do not stop coming. So the acting, expect a tour de force with acting. I think the directing and the writing is also smart. I do like the atmosphere and what they're doing with On a Train and the whole whodunit. Honestly, if I had to choose one person I don't like as an actor as a whole, it's Josh Gad. Something about him kind of bothers me as a just a whole. As like every time he's in a movie, I'm like, But what are some faults with this movie? I do think it's a little bit too long and it overstays its welcome on some of the scenes. Some people might fault for the actual ending and the conclusion of who actually is the killer, but I don't mind it because it's something different. You really don't see that nowadays because it's always a one person. But this is like, oh, could it be 2? Could it be 5? Could it be 7? Could it be 9? Who knows who the killer is? And there's also just some weird humor and it's very, I want to say childish, like the very beginning with the poop and the eggs. It is kind of like heartfelt. You're like, oh, that's kind of cute, but you're just like, it really doesn't connect with the rest of the story of what was going on. So there are some tonal differences with this movie where you're just like, you can't put a finger on it, but you're like, something about this doesn't match with this and it doesn't match with this. But when it comes with the actual story, I think it works extremely well. It keeps you on your edge of your toes of like, I do not know who the killer is. Who can it be? And there's are enough clues where you're like, okay, I think it's that person. I think it's that person. But there's also that whole thing where someone does something, gets caught. So you're like, I know that's not the real person. And it kind of happens again. Like, I know that person just did that. So that person can't be the real killer. So there's all those little tropes where you're like, oh, I know that. I kind of know that. But there is also some convoluted story in this as well when you more of you think about it. Like, there's this Russian ballerina dancer, which kind of is like, I don't know if I can actually believe what they were trying to do in those scenes, which is like, okay, whatever. But that would be the story fault of like trying to get from point A to point B. They try to add too many like to get to like B to C. They go like B1, B2, B3, B4, and you're just like, can we get rid of like B3 because B3 really doesn't make that much sense to get to point C or part 3 of the movie or part act, whatever you want to call it, the act of the movie. But overall, I think Murder on the Orient Express is directed well. It's acted superbly, except for Josh Gad, like I said before. Great atmosphere. I enjoy what I was watching on screen. It's a good whodunit movie. Some negatives, yeah, there are some story issues where you're just like I said, like, why is that there? Why is that there? Is this really believable? And some tropes where you're like, okay, so that person did that. There's no way that's actually the real killer. And stuff like that. So you're like, eh. So I'm going to guess that's going to happen on Death on the Nile. But overall, Murder on the Orient Express, it was an enjoyable time. 4K quality, though, was pretty good. So, Murder on the Orient Express will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons. It goes at 70%. Let's see what the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have the critics a 60% with 298 of them. Audience score 53. Woo! With 25,000. Here's critic consensus. Stylish production and an all-star ensemble keeps this Murder on the Orient Express from running off the rails, even if it never quite builds up to its classic predecessor's head of steam. I'm not even going to try to say that word. When I have like a ear infection or something, it's not the Rona. I promise you it's not the Rona. It's like a weird ear infection. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm a sucker for these type of murder mysteries. If it's a murder mystery, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to probably enjoy it. Guilty as charged. So, 70, 60, 53. Chase Lee Hockey with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Bhutanotopia. You Blue Futonians. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace and love. Peace and love. And yeah, Death on the Nile. Actors-wise, it's not as stacked as this one, but like I said, it does its job. If you want to watch a murder mystery, it really is. Could you solve a murder on the Orient Express? I think I could. Actually, that's a lie. I'd be like, murder!